Okay, I, Chair Heather Miller, call the virtual electrical and elevator board meeting of September 23rd, 2021 to order at 9:30 a.m. Debbie, will you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Chair Heather Miller.
Here.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle.
Here.
William Barlow.
Here.
Amy Byer.
Here.
Elizabeth Bunga.
Here.
Randy Carmody.
Here.
John Flagel. John Flagel.
Here.
Rob McNeil.
Here.
Ryan Richards.
Here.
Randy Smith. Okay, it does not look like Randy is connected, but he did say he was going to attend, so I will mark him absent at this point, and we'll go ahead and deal with him in just one moment. We do have a quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I assume everybody's had a chance to review the amended agenda. And if nobody has anything to add to that, I'll wait 2 beats. I, Chair Miller, rule the amended agenda approved. Also, everybody's had a chance to see the draft meeting minutes of the July 22nd meeting, unless there's any required changes to that. I, Chair Miller, ruled the draft meeting minutes of July 22nd, 2021 final. The date of the next scheduled meeting is November 18th, 2021. I anticipate that to be my last meeting, my last official meeting, anyway. We're rolling right into agenda item 2, public comments. I don't remember seeing that anybody was signed up. Tyler, is anybody signed up?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tyler Glaze, Policy Analyst for the Building Codes Division. I do not believe anyone has signed up. However, there are at least 2 people connected to the call. Does anyone wish to make a public comment at this time? No. Not hearing anyone, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 3A, reports. Megan Sachet, the contested case representative for Enforcement Services.
Yes, good morning, Chair Miller, members of the board. For the record, Megan Sachet, contested case representative for the division. And kudos to Chair Miller for getting the last name right. I appreciate that. Through the chair, agenda item 3A. Before the board is a summary of consent orders that was recently negotiated by the division on the board's behalf for settlement prior to hearing. We have entered into consent agreements in 5 cases since our last meeting. All settlements, including the amount owed and the suspended civil penalties, fall within the penalty matrix and contain standard conditions. Board action is required on these cases. All of the cases are fairly standard, but I am available to answer any questions you have regarding any of these actions. Again, board approval or denial on these consent orders is required. You can choose to approve them as a whole or take action on each agreement separately if you choose. The first one up is C-2020-0098, which is Francisco Frank Torres Mendoza, DBA Professional Electrician Frank. He's a first-time violator. He installed a new electrical outlet, electrical receptacle, and an electrical distribution panel at several residences. He had also posted advertisements as Mr. Professional Electrician Frank, offering to perform electrical installations on Yelp, Yahoo, and Google. He did not have an electrical contractor's license, a journeyman license, or an electrical permit, and $2,250 was imposed. The second consent order we have is C-2020-0151, Wesley Scott Crook. He's a first-time violator. There was the installation of Romex wiring, 2 electrical circuits, bathroom fan, main breaker panel, and several can lights in a residence. He did not have an electrical contractor's license, a supervising electrician license, or an electrical permit. We imposed $2,000 in civil penalties, and he does have a journeyman electrician license that will be suspended for 30 days. The next consent order is C-2020-0084, Jacob Blattner, aka Jake Blattner, another first-time violator. There was an installation of 2 new 240-volt electrical circuits, Romex wiring from an electrical distribution panel, a new electrical circuit for a refrigerator outlet with all associated electrical wiring at a residence. He did not have a journeyman electrician license, and we imposed $500. Next consent order is C-2020-0010, Jesus David Mendez, ABN Cascadia Remodeling, another first-time violator, installation of ceiling light fixtures, electrical wire to a dishwasher, and a new range hood was installed in a residence. There was no electrical contractor's license, no journeyman electrician license, and no electrical permit. We imposed $2,000. And last but not least, we have C-2020-0148, Jerry Galen Clayton, ABN Crime Buster Security, another first-time violator. And there was the installation of Romex electrical wiring, several new outlets and receptacles for a camera security system at a residence. There was no journeyman electrician license, no electrical contractor license, and no electrical permit, and we imposed $750. Again, board action is required on all of these cases, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
On that last case, did he have an LEA license, just not a general journeyman?
He didn't have any licenses.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent orders as presented.
All right, we have a motion. Thank you very much, Megan.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 3B, the elevator program update with Mr.
Madam
Ward.
Chair,
Yes, madam.
we do need to take a roll call on that motion.
Jeez Louise, I got too fast. Okay. Debbie, could you take a roll call vote, please?
No, yes. BJ Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Randy Carmody,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Robert McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
and I assume Randy Smith is still absent. Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
and Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One more time. Agenda item 3B, the elevator program update with Mr. Warren Hartung.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. For the record, Warren Hartung, Chief Elevator Inspector for Statewide Services. I'll bring you up to date. We've had an influx of overdues hitting us right now. I've had an inspector out for a couple of months for shoulder surgery, and we've been covering his area. And I suffered a personal loss, so I missed several weeks myself, so things got way behind on me. We have refocused our efforts on overdues. Lists have been sent out to each inspector to act upon, and we hope to have those caught up within the next couple of months. Any questions on what I've spoke on so far? Okay. Accident reports or falls, a lot of are being reported, and some door strikes, people using their hands and arms to stop closing elevator doors, which for the record is not a good idea. So I just caution people, please be cautious around this equipment. and take care of yourself and your loved ones. That's all I have to report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and thanks for the explanation on what's going on. And I'm sorry for whatever you're going through. Agenda item 3C, electrical program update with the electrical program chief, Keith Anderson.
Good morning, Keith Anderson, electrical program chief. So I have one thing today to share, and it has to do with the bank of test questions that we use for all the testing. So Sean Cole, the assistant's been working on those for about 4 months now, and we've completed that. So we wanted to, make public notice that they all are up to the 2020 code. There were very, very few changes in the questions because of from going to the 17 to the 20. So there hasn't. It shouldn't really have much of a effect, as far as people taking the test as to which version that they're using. We've had some concerns from some of the instructors, on not being clear about when the tests were going to be updated to the 2020. So just a quick history on this. Probably 3 years ago now, we put together, the board asked to put together a committee that involves several board members and, industry people. And we went through the whole 1,500 question bank and cleaned them up quite a bit. It had been several codes since they had actually been updated, and got rid of any questions that had, two right answers or answers that were real close to each other. And tried to correct them, make them clear, so that there wouldn't be any questions on what's being asked. And that took quite a while to get through that and went real well. We tried to make them questions so that they wouldn't reflect too much on a code change year. So they're very standard questions. Electricians testing, need to have a pretty good understanding of what the code is and how to look things up, not necessarily things that you would remember, but the skills to be able to research. And so a lot of the questions are based on that. And I think that the committee did a great job on that. And then the three of us, myself, Dennis, and Sean Cole was the assistant at the time with us. We went through those and made sure that they lined up with the licensing type, because we had LEBs complaining they were, had to, do a arc fault calculations on a 75 kVA transformer, and it just, it didn't make a lot of sense. So we spent quite a number of hours lining up all of those. So the test questions were in very, pretty good shape to start with. Due to all of that work that was done previously. And like I said, Sean's been working on those for 4 months now and has just recently completed that. So that is completed. And anyway, we do have comment forms if someone has a concern. I look at every one of those, either myself or the assistant chief. They're very helpful for us to make corrections. If we see something there that's incorrect and it'll change an outcome, we will certainly notify them. We do not do reviews. There's been a lot of talk about reviewing tests and that sort of thing. So it's something that we don't provide. We don't have the staffing to provide that, and personally, I don't think it's a good idea to do that. But we do have the comment forms, and we do look at those. So that was hopefully that'll answer, those questions. The notification's gone out, that they're updated. The next thing we have to do is the supervisor test questions. They're still on the 17. My goal is to try to have those done by the end of the year. They take a lot of time, to go through each test. Those were also updated a few years ago. And those, we will notify when those go out, to make clear that they're updated to the 2020, and that's what we expect, because there are some major changes that can make a difference on calculation questions and that. So, we're trying to be fair. We want those people that can pass the test to get their licenses, and we've made the questions as clear as we can, and we're just trying to test that they have the knowledge to do that. So anyway, that's what I had for today. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, but don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Right up on agenda item 4, communications.
All right, so that one was a code change that had to do with tying where you could tie solar in, and mainly to a feeder. It's very common in Oregon for them to make this connection in a meter main, and they tap right below the breaker onto the feeder conductors. There was a change that was made in the 2020. It was very small. It was unclear as to what that actually, the change actually did, what it meant. There were experts outside of the state that had opinions on what it meant, and if it would have changed things dramatically if we would have gone with some of those. So we did research out some of the code information that we had through NFPA, through the archives, and it still wasn't clear what it was trying to say. So what we did is we did an interpretation or clarification to take it back and leave it with the 2017, what it said. That seemed to be the clearest path. I believe the code still allows them to do what they're doing, and then we'll readdress this when we get the committee back together in the 2023. So, it's a, technical document, but I'll answer questions if you have them. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. We have nothing for appeals or unfinished business, so we're moving on to agenda item 7A, which is new business. Policy analyst Tyler Glaze is here to share the details with us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, Tyler Glaze, policy analyst for the division. For this round of applications for continuing education, the committee reviewed 32 applications from 16 organizations. 19 courses were recommended for approval, 4 courses were recommended for denial, and 9 instructors were recommended for approval. If you would like to take a look in your agenda just past that memo item, there's the matrix of all those courses. And if you have any questions, members of the board, I'm happy to answer them. And Madam Chair, this will require a motion.
I would like to make a motion to approve the amended courses.
Approve or deny?
For approval and denial.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Debbie, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. BJ Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Randy Carmody,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Brian Richards,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
and Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Agenda item 7B is a request received for some retroactive approval for licenses. Tyler Glaze, policy analyst, here again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For members of the board that don't recall, these are from time to time the board receives various retroactive approval requests. So these are courses where individuals have been taking the course, but they're asking for those persons to be, the courses are now approved. These people providers are asking that these individuals that took it prior to approval be granted retroactive approval credit for taking that course. And this will require a motion, Madam Chair.
And Tyler, generally speaking, it's fair to say that when the people took these courses, when the people sold these courses, their paperwork was in to the division. They were in process. It was just didn't all happen fast enough.
Madam Chair, that's usually the case. Generally, these are courses that they've either been approved in prior cycles or they just they didn't submit them in time. It can happen for a variety of reasons, but this doesn't come to this stage unless it's already been approved going forward. So that anyone who takes this course now will get credit for it. These are just people that took it prior to it actually being approved by the board and by the committee.
Okay, thanks.
Madam Chair, motion to approve as presented.
Debbie, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. BJ Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Elizabeth, thank you. Randy Carmody,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
All righty, now we're going on to the request received from eHazard for retroactive approval.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the exact same scenario, just from a different continuing education provider. We also asked them to submit a request on their letterhead. So if any members of the board would like to take a look at that, it's attached to your agenda. But otherwise, Madam Chair, this will require a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for retroactive approval received from eHazard. Debbie, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. BJ Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Randy Carmody,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
All right, third verse, same as the first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, this is a retroactive approval request from ESS Electrical Safety Specialists, LLC, very much along the same lines of the previous two.
I would like to make a motion to approve the retroactive ESS Electrical Safety training course.
Debbie, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. BJ Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer,
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Randy Carmody,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. One more for Central Electrical JATC.
Correct, Madam Chair. This is Tyler Glaze, again, policy analyst for the division. This is a very similar application from Central Electric JATC.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the retroactive for Central Lincoln JATC.
Thank you. We have a motion. Debbie, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, ma'am. BJ Barlow,
Aye.
Amy Byer.
Aye.
Elizabeth Bunga,
Aye.
Randy Carmody,
Aye.
John Flagel,
Aye.
Rob McNeil,
Aye.
Ryan Richards,
Aye.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle,
Aye.
Chair Heather Miller.
Aye.
Madam Chair, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Debbie. We have no announcements, so there being no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 9:56. See everybody in November.